Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another Smash Up expansion. This is for excellent movies, dude. Obviously, if you can tell the references on here, this is based off some hit 80 movies, more or less from hit movies, more or less from the 80s. So we have, obviously we have our Ghostbuster reference, Aliens, RoboCop, and Back to the Future reference. So we'll unbox this. We're also going to do this. This will be in a separate video, but we have Smash Up Teens, which came as about the exact same time, which kind of fits in very well with this, probably set. But we'll do this in a separate video since it is a separate box. Because, hey, little teaser ahead. So grab your popcorn. Smash Up is back with Rag of the Extreme expansion, featuring the best in 80s cinema, or as close as we can legally get to it without attracting the attention of some lawyer dude. Get ready to go back in time again. Rustle some raves, bust some chests, and unload insane amount of action into some dweebs. Can you lose it with these righteous new factions? As if. Excellent movie, dudes. Is fully compelled with all previous Smash Up expansions. So we're gonna get 4 new groups. Before we actually jump into each one, we're gonna look at the books here. So that, of course, comes with the instruction book, just gonna explain how to play the game, which I will not go through. There is one major difference in this box versus all the other boxes, is the VIP tokens. So if I can get my camera to focus, it says VP tokens. VP are from Smash Up level 9000, are available in all other Smash Up expansions. So say here, set stasis colors, so brand new colors we're gonna get as well. Along with the VP tokens from another Smash Up set. If this is your first Smash Up game, welcome. You can use anything else you like as VP tokens, coins, candies, or whatever, to track your VP on paper if you like. You need some kind of tokens to use as power counters. So that is one big difference, is they're no longer, at least in this box set, can't say they won't continue it, but they're no longer adding more victory point counters, which personally I'm actually happy for. When I have the 20 plus sets that are already out, I don't need to keep getting counters everyone. I get the idea that they're trying to make every game semi-standalone, because you could play head-to-head with just one deck. Each player grabs a faction, but they generally work better if you play with 2. So it's kind of I kind of get to the thing is, hey, buy any other set, buy one other big pack, and you can mash up and have a counter. Otherwise, just keep track with paper. It's not that big of a deal. Because I have if you have one from every other set, and there's so many, and you're running out of room in the boxes for them. There are some brand new rules in here, stasis and stored cards. I'll go over them when we find some cards that actually have them. Otherwise, the rulebook just kind of goes through some different clarifications on different stuff, all that. But what we wanted to look at quick were our 4 factions. So we have Action Heroes with the sunglasses. Yo, many a few words. Enjoy working alone. Good at it. So that's our gonna be like Terminator. Probably like Commando. I don't know what Commandos. I'm not sure all of it, but it's be like Rambo, things like that. We already seen some. We have back timers, which is of course reference to Back to the Future with 99 miles an hour instead of 88. Are you ready to feel the power of love? Then get ready to double back in time with the back timers. A teenager, his scientist friend, and the new time machine can prepare for the future by delaying things so they appear at just the right time. This faction is heavy. We have the Extramorphers, which is, of course, Xenomorphs from Aliens. Ping, 6 meters. Ping, that can't be. That's inside the deck. It's reading right, man. Look. The Extramorphers enjoy terrorizing and forcing your opponents into a unique circle of life. Egg, head grabber, chest breaker, adult, Hive Queen, again, and again, and again. And then finally, we have the Wraith Rustlers, which is the Ghostbusters. Who are you gonna ring or fax? The Wraith Rustlers, of course. These pursuers of the paranormal are opportunistic, maneuvering wraiths to where they bother their opponents and then rounding them up to help themselves the most, all without cats and dogs living together. Alright, so that's going to be pretty fun. So we're going to go ahead and just hop right into these 5 sets. So it's also definitely fun is we, of course, get our deck, I don't want to call it, it's a divider. Our box divider for all these, which is always really fun. Now, they're double-sided, so either side tells you on the bottom what set it comes from. So those are always nice to have. That way, if you have a bigger box, you can go ahead and do it. Alright, so we're going to jump in. So this is going to be one of those sets where... back this up just a little bit more. There we go. Where all of the heroes are over the top their cost 5. Instead of normally your sets are some 2s, some 3s, some 4s, some 5s. Like 1, 5. These are all going to be big, giant ones. So we're going to start with Gracie Brones. I am not 100% sure what she is referencing. The bro in there is, so it's like, okay, so if we look at the next one, we have Rumbro, which is Rambo, but you're putting bro in every set name. So I'm guessing it's supposed to be like Gracie Jones. I wonder if this is a Mad Max reference? I might be wrong on that. She looks super familiar. The only thing I can think of would be possibly a woman from like Red Sonja or Conan. There was a powerful black woman in both of them movies. I don't remember who this is supposed to be though. So we'll move on. Ongoing. At the start of your turn, if this is your only minion here, you may place a +1 power counter on this minion and give it 1 additional power till the end of your turn for each power counter on it. Oh, nice. So as long as she's by herself, she's going to keep getting stronger and stronger. That's cool. Rumbo, of course, a Rambo reference. Ongoing, during your turn, if this is your only minion here, the break point of this base is reduced by 4. Nice, so you can break bases quicker. Command Bro, Arnold and Commando, of course. This rocket launcher, I love that. Ongoing, at the end of your turn, if this is your only minion here, draw a card. Nice. Kickbox Bro, that would be Jean-Claude Van Damme from Bloodsport. In case, since again I can't reference who that is, I can't say for sure. That's Sylvester Stallone from Rambo. Ongoing, at the end of your turn, you may store this card. You may store a card from under your hand, under this card. Talent. Play an action stored under this card as an extra action. Special. Before this base scores. If this is your only minion here, you may use this minion's talent. Okay, so this is bringing up stored, which are the brand new ability. So I'm not going to go through and read 100% all of the detail on it, but basically you're showing a stored cards are put face down under a card. And then while they're in play, they are they're considered to be in play, but their abilities are not active. They cannot be affected by abilities that do not mention stored card. So they're on the table, there's a card on there, but something can't activate it. You can't say, oh, I'm going to target that card to destroy a minion or move an action or move a card because you don't know what it is. It's there. You can use it with stored abilities. It's kind of a neat way to like save up cards for later. The only other thing it does say is this specifies it has to be an action card. So your the other players your opponents can ask to see the card before you put it under there to prove that it's an action card. That's all you have to prove them. Then when it's face down, you are allowed to look at your stored cards as much as you want. Because you can have 2 or 3 cards under him. And you can have an idea of what you have, so you make sure you use it. Your opponents always have to know how many are under there. So you have to keep them fanned out so they can see, oh, this guy has 3 cards under him. So they know if they want to, maybe attack him or deal with him sooner than later. But they're not allowed to look at them. They can see it the initial time if they want to prove that that's what the type of card is. Like it says a minion cost of 3. They can prove that it's a minion of 3, so you're not just putting any random card under there as a bluff. but they're not allowed to look at after that. Alright, up next we have Robo Bro. So of course, RoboCop. What is his actor's name? I want to say Peter Sellers, but that doesn't sound right. Crap. I used to know this one. You don't really see his actor too often, though. Ongoing, after another player plays or moves a minion here, you may place +1 power counter on this minion. Okay, so he doesn't necessarily gain a bonus for being by himself, but if other guys join him, he gets more powerful. Then our last action bro is War Bro. And this would be from Predator, and is this Jesse Ventura's character, I believe? Whose name I don't remember in the movie. Talent, reduce the breakpoint of a different base where you have exactly 1 minion by 3 until the end of turn. That's cool. So these other guys gain bonuses. He can shoot across and reduce them. That means if you're playing with Rambo, you can knock it down by 7. That can be very powerful. Alright, then we're going to get to our action cards. We have 2 copies of A Load of Bubblegum, which is of course the reference to the classic saying, I'm here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm a load of bubblegum. Give one of your minions +2 power till the end of turn. If this is your only minion at that base, you may play an extra action. Nice. So they get more powerful if you play more. We have 1 copy of Get the Chopper. It's a motorcycle. I love it. One of your minions from another. Move one of your minions from one base to another. If this is your only minion there, you may play an extra action. Nice. These guys are gonna get bonuses for being by themselves. Slow-mo attack. Why is he going so slow? Playing a base. Talent. If you have exactly 1 minion here, reduce this base brace point by 3 until the end of turn. Ongoing, your minions here are not affected by other players' actions. Nice. That could be very, very helpful. The Final Stand. Predator reference where he's covered in mud. Special. Play before a base scores where you have exactly 1 minion. Destroy a minion of a printed power of 3 or less controlled by each other player. Oh, sweet. So, like, yeah, once the base is scored, once it's broken, so now it's going to score, you can go ahead and eliminate some of your competition. Definitely cool. 2 copies of Hostage Rescue, which is the rescuing Princess Peach. I wonder if that is... I wonder if she's from one of the other sets, or if that's just a new Princess Peach artwork. Search your deck for a minion and place it on top of your deck. Nice. So that could be very helpful when this is being combined with something else. You can find another card you want. Walk away slowly, because cool guys don't look at explosions. Special, place after a base scores. Return one of your minions there to its owner hand. There you go. So if you're gonna score, get your card back. That way you can use them again. 2 copies of Lone Wolf. Playing a minion, ongoing. This minion has +2 power. There's only minion here that's +4 power instead. So you guys are gonna boost each other up. I wonder what set this would work really well with. I'm trying to think if there's what other faction. Previous faction works really well having like single guys or a lot of power boosts. I wonder if like the monster set would work really well because there's lots of power counters as well. Interesting. It'd be fun to see. I mean, there's so many factions that just watching them that work really well with. Friends Through Eternity. Interesting. I don't know what this is exactly referencing. Discard a card to play 2 extra actions. Or if it's just the like epic rock music that they play during these movies. I'm betting I wonder if that's a reference to like possibly kung fu fighting. Which now I think about it, that would be a great set for this to mix with the kung fu. Alright, we're going to set these down here. We're getting full. We have one copy of Push the Limit. Oh, Jean-Claude Van Damme and his famous splits. For each base, we have exactly one minion. Either place 2 +1 power counters on that minion or draw a card. Nice. Like, if you're already winning by a lot, there's no point to play more counters. You can draw cards. That works really, really nice. The right person. Oh yeah, beginning of Rambo, and he's looking for. Are you John Rambo? Are you Rambo? Playing extra minion on a base where you have no minions. Playing extra action. Nice. You get a free action, but you also get to play a minion. And then finally we have collateral damage. Just blowing stuff up. Reduce the breakpoint of a base by 5 until the end of the turn. That is definitely fun. Alright, then we have our 2 locations, which locations aren't directly tied, aren't directly needed to be played with each one, but they usually work well with that group, or that faction. So we have Jungle Camp. Breakpoint is 20, and the winner may return one of their minions here to their hand. And then the other one is the Building Rooftop, which is also 20. At the start of your turn, if you have exactly one minion here, you may reduce the breakpoint of the space by that of the minion's power till the end of turn. When the base scores, each player has exactly one minion here gains 1 VP. So that's actually pretty cool because these guys get bonuses for power. They power themselves up. So you can really reduce that breakpoint by a lot. Even like, again, just looking at Rumbro. I am Rumbro. During your turn, only main here is reduced by 4, so that would reduce it to 16, or reduced by 4, yeah, down to 16. But then, so at the start of your turn, if you have one minion, you may reduce it by its power till another turn, so you drop it down another 5. So it brings it down to 11. And then we have that other card, drops it by another 5, right? So now we're down to 9. So yeah, we have a bunch of different cards in here where you could do a slow-mo action, drop it by another 3. So now we're down to, it's gonna be easy to power these guys up and kind of, then even there, even if you lose that base, you at least also get 1 additional VP no matter what. Alright, that is a pretty cool faction. I like that. Alright. Up next, we have the back timers. So I wonder if these guys are going to play well with the, from the core game. Is it core game or is it one of the, maybe it's like the 3rd set, the time travelers. They'll have shared mechanics. We will see. We have 4 copies of Sidelined Girlfriend. Alright, this brings the 2nd new mechanic, Stasis. So it says, minion, you may play a Stasis counter on this card. Special, after a Stasis counter is removed from this card, you may place a +1 power counter of one of your minions on a base. When you play this card from Stasis, play it as an extra minion and place a +1 power counter on it. So, Stasis is we are going to get these Stasis tokens. We'll have 12 of them. Double-sided little hourglasses. That's the tokens we get in this set instead of victory points. And basically how Stasis works. Let me zoom back out for a sec. So you're going to have cards that you put a certain number of Stasis counters on. And basically how Stasis works is... Stasis cards. Track the amount of time cards spent in stasis, after which the card is played and or other effects may happen. If you run out of stasis counters, use something else. So being in stasis, you can only place stasis counter on cards when the ability says you can do so, placing it on there. So a couple rules there. They are not considered to be on any base, any part of the deck. They are not considered to be at any base or part of any hand, deck, or discard pile. So they're on the table, they're in play, but they're not part of anything. They can't be discarded, they can't be removed, they can't be targeted. So that's 2. Their abilities don't work unless they refer to stasis. And 3, they may not be affected by chosen as the target of Any ability does not refer to stasis. And 4, they may not be played or leave stasis except as described below. So yeah, what happens then, so like for her, is you play her, and that says you may place a stasis counter on her. So while she's out, you have her played, you can opt to place a stasis counter on her, which then removes her from the base, removes her from everything else, kind of puts her off to the side. And at the end of every turn, at the start of your turn, you remove 1 stasis counter from each of your cards. You may also remove or add stasis counter when the ability says so. When you play it, it says, if a card has no stasis counter during your play card phase, you may play as an extra card, at which point it leaves stasis. So basically, stasis is going to remove cards from the game, have them kind of sitting aside, kind of like the stored ability, but they're not attached to anything. And then when they get done, you get to play them as extra. So manipulating how many counters are on there can change when the card kind of comes into play. So for like her, it says, after a stasis counter is removed from this card, you may place a +1 power counter on one of your minions on a base. When you play this card from stasis, play as an extra minion and place a +1 power counter on it. So she starts off as a 2, and you have the option to immediately just leave her as a 2, or you could play a stasis counter on her, which then removes her. And then at the beginning of your next turn, you remove that card. And then now when you get to play a card, you can play her as extra, and put an extra 1 counter. So now she comes back as a 3. But you also get to place a +1 on somebody else. So it's basically you get a 3 and a +1 somewhere else, or you could leave her as a 2 if you just need her as a 2. So it's kind of an interesting idea. So we'll definitely see how else this works. So we have 3 copies of Lifelong Bully. He's got 3 cost, 3 power. Add a status counter to one of your cards in status, or with the top 2 cards of your deck, you may place 2 status counters on one of them and return the rest in any order. So cool. So basically, if one of your cards is in status, you can keep it in status, makes it delayed a little bit longer, or you can bring another card out that maybe might not have the ability to go status, something from a different faction possibly, and do it. So like even on Sideline Girlfriend, you could keep her in stasis a little bit longer if you want to delay when she comes in. We have 2 copies of Zany Prof for a 4 power. Ongoing, at the start of your turn, you may remove a stasis counter from or add one to one of your cards in stasis. Again, you have to manipulate when these cards come out. And then our big character is Alex P. McGlide. With his hover buggy beetle. You may place 2 stasis counters on a card from your hand. Talent: if the card in your hand has last stasis counter removed this turn, you may place +1 power counter on one of your minions. Place 2 stasis counters on one card from your hand. Talent: if a card had a last stasis counter removed this turn, you may place a +1 power counter on your minion. Okay, cool. So you can basically put something in your hand in stasis, and anytime the last counter is removed, as long as he's out, they gain more power. So he might actually benefit from having the ability, which we'll see if his cards have these, the action cards. But if you have another deck that lets you move characters around, so he can stand bases that aren't going to break, so you can keep using this talent. Be definitely cool. His name is also really interesting. So Alex P would be reference to Alex P. Keaton, who is the character that Michael J. Fox, who played the original Marty McFly in Back to the Future, that was his character on... Oh, crap. What show is that from? He was in an 80s show, sitcom, and my brain completely just forgot what it was called. Family Ties. Yes, so on Family Ties, Michael J. Fox played Alex P. Keaton. So that's a reference there, and then the McGlide is obviously a reference to Marty McFly. So fly instead of glide. So that's a really clever thing. I don't think the professor really had any other thing. Obviously, it's supposed to be Doc Brown. Maybe that's why, not causing controversy, maybe that's why it's a brown person, but also hair kind of looks a little bit like Rick from in the lab coat, maybe kind of look a reference to Rick and Morty, which is again a reference to Doc Brown anyhow. But that's definitely cool. So a little twist on there as well. Alright, so let's see what else we have for our action cards. We have 2 copies of Back from the Future. So it's still wearing 80s stuff, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, what's with that hipster kid? Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You may place 2 stasis counters on one of them, return the rest in any order. That's actually fun, because it's not only lets you pull in them cards in stasis, it's also lets you rearrange your deck a bit. That's cool. 2 copies of 99 miles per hour. Place 2 stasis counters on a card from your hand, and then draw a card. This would be really fun. Just like people, like, because I don't have to kind of watch and worry about when cards are gonna come out. And you can kind of manipulate that. Oh crap! That you can maybe have a couple that'll come out at the same time. So now you're playing 5 cards in one turn. You like take over a base immediately. 1 copy of the Future Almanac. He doesn't know what to do with the CD. Place 3 stasis counters on this card. Special. After remove a stasis counter from this card, draw a card. When you play this card from stasis, discard it. Oh, that's fun. As long as you keep putting counters on it, you get a card draw every turn. That's definitely neat. The Lightning Strike. Lightning deals. Place 2 stasis counters on this card. Special, when you remove stasis counter from other cards, you may place them on this card. On your turn, you may use action. An action play to reduce the breakpoint of a base by 1 for each stasis counter on this card, up to 5. Until the end of turn, and discard this card. When you play this card from stasis, discard it. Neat. So you can keep starting this up, and also you can, like, boom, just reduce this breakpoint or something up to 5 and then discard it. So basically once it hits 5, you may as well stop. Or you may as well try and use it. But you can always play like 6 or 7, so that way you can kind of manipulate when you want to use it. Definitely fun. I like this idea. Will have to do. You're in the past. Use what you have. Place up to 2 +1 counters total on your minions, or remove up to 2 stasis counters total from your cards in stasis. Nice. Some different options. 2 copies of Help from the Past. When you got some cavemen. Place up to 3 stasis counters on this card. Special. When this card enters stasis, store a card from your discard pile under it. When you play this card from stasis, discard, you may play a stored card under as an extra card. Oh, cool. So we're mixing the 2 different effects. And that's even more fun, because you could keep manipulating the stasis. So opponents don't know when you're going to play it for sure. But then you also don't know what card's under there. That's really neat. Letter from Another Time. Place 3 stasis counters on this card. Special. When this card enters stasis, search your deck for a card and store it under this card. When you play this card from stasis, discard it. You may play the extra card as an extra card. Nice. So search your deck for a card. What the other one? From your discard pile. So you get one from the past, and this is one from the future, because it's from in your deck. That's kind of neat effects. And then we have Disrupt the Space-Time Continuum. He has a phone booth attached to the back, which would be the TARDIS, it looks like. Choose up to 2 cards from your hand. Place a number of stasis cards on them equal to the number of cards you choose. Interesting. So if you choose 1, it gets 1. If you choose 2, they both get 2. Cool. So a little bit more manipulation there. That's a really fun mechanic. And so now it's stored in a second one. I wonder if one of these other 2 sets are also going to see stasis, maybe using it a different way. Alright, our locations. Or bases, as they're called. The time traveling card. 22 breakpoint. The winner may place 2 stasis counters on one of their cards here. Oh, neat, because then it removes it from place. You can use it later. That's fun. And then alternate to present. So breakpoint of 20. After the first time you play a minion here each turn, you may play 2 stasis counters on a card from your hand. First time you play a minion here each turn, they're gonna need a lot more stasis counters if this set's being used, especially if another set uses it. But that is definitely a fun set. Alright, up next we have the Extramorphs, which are again the Xenomorphs from Aliens. I'm sure they're going to reference other alien characters as well. But we have 4 copies of the Chest Breaker. Oh, that's funny. So instead of being the aliens and they're bursting out of someone's literal human chest, he's bursting out of the pirate faction's treasure chest. That's really cool. Talent: if this minion was on a base at the start of the turn, place it on the bottom of your deck and choose power 3 or 4 to play an extra minion of that power up the top of your deck here. Interesting. So if this starts, you play this out as long as it's there. You put it on the bottom of your deck, so just to recycle it. But now you get to play a 3 or 4 cost minion. Extra minion, so you still get to play another minion off the top of your deck. Interesting. Does it have anything in the rules talking about that? So I'm wondering how you know if it's there. If you look at the top card of your deck to see if that's what it does. So I just want to see if they say that. It says, you must choose the power you want before playing the minion off the top of your deck. Chest Breaker is placed on the bottom of your deck beforehand, so it does get shuffled in. Interesting. But that's all it says about that. Alright, well, we'll see what the rest of the cards do and see if that has any more effect. We have 3 copies of the Extra Drone. You may remove another player's minion of a power of 3 or less here to another base. If you do, you may move this minion to that base. If this minion was played off the top of a deck, place a +1 power counter on it. You may move another player's minion of a power of 3 or less here to another base. If you do, you may move this minion to that base. It's nice, you can kind of scare a guy away and chase them to another base. That's pretty fun. Then we have 2 copies of the 4 Alien Life Form. Oh, it's an elf reference, because he's trying to eat a cat. That's hilarious. You may destroy a minion of 3 power or less here. If this minion is played off the top of the deck, place 2 +1 power counters on it. Talent: remove a +1 power counter from this minion to move it to another base. Okay, so you guys are going to get the ability to move around. Also, you're going to kind of gain the bonus of playing these in order. They're going to get more powerful, but if you don't, they're still pretty good. And then finally, we have 5 is the Hive Queen. Who's just hanging out, asking to be painted like one of their French ladies. You may search your deck and or discard pile for an egg field and draw it. Talent: until the start of your next turn, other players' minions at bases where you have egg field have -1 power. Alright, so we have an egg field card. I'm going to skip through and we're going to find that card so we can see what that does. Alright, so we have 2 copies of that. We have 2 copies of egg field. Play on a base. You may search your hand, deck, or discard pile for a head grabber and play it on a minion of 3 power or less. Here is an extra action. Talent: play an extra minion of 2 or less off the top of your deck here. Okay, so this is a very interesting deck because each card kind of works with each other. So the Chest Burster is going to help you get the other guys out, make them more powerful. The Queen is going to get you the Egg Field. Egg Field is going to get you head grabbers. The Egg Field is also essentially going to let you keep playing extra Chest Burster. So then that way, if that comes up 2 or less off the top of your deck, if you find that, now you can if you find that card, then you can keep cycling that, because there is. We do have rules for top of the deck. I just noticed this. So it says play X card off the top of your deck means reveal cards from the top of your deck until you reveal a card with X type and play it if you're told to play it. N X's you reveal it N times. After the X's are played and resolved, they're unused revealed cards, shuffle them in your deck before you play those cards. Awesome. So yeah, so this is saying playing extra meaning of 2 power or less. So you search your deck until you find that card. That's actually really cool. So if your deck is empty before revealing cards, shuffle your discard pile in to make your new deck. But if the deck runs out while revealing, stop revealing. You can only play it you'd already revealed. So, okay, so yeah, if you have 4 cards in your deck, you're only going to find what's in your deck. So you might want to try and find a way before you play some of these. Possible is to reshuffle your deck first, or even something like this, playing extra meaning of 2 power or less. You have this already out. Go ahead and use that ability to get your deck reshuffled. It says this card was played off. If the extra reveal has a prerequisite for play that are not met, it is discarded instead. So if it says it requires something to be played, you can't play that card, then it's discarded. It was played off the top of the deck means it was among the group of cards revealed to the top of the deck then played. It does not have to be the very top card for it to be true. Their existing cards help meet the condition without saying played off the top of the deck, such as Hoverbot, Secret Volcano Headquarters, or other cards. Interesting. Cool. That's actually a neat effect as well. Alright, so let's look at Head Grabber. We have 2 copies of those. And those are going to say the face huggers, of course, from Aliens. Playing a minion of power 3 or less. So these guys aren't really targeted to 3 or less guys, which are the mid-tier guys. Talent, if this is on your minion, or if it was on a minion at the start of the turn, destroy the minion, choose a power less than 4, and play an extra minion of that power off the top of your deck here. Nice, you're going to keep getting to cycle more cards out of your deck. So you can play it on your minion to just be able to use it. Or, if it's on a minion at the start of the turn, you can destroy that minion. So nice, you can sacrifice your own guys and then just get recycled back into the deck, which help you find better cards. Alright, what else do we have here? We have 1 copy of Distress Call. Send more Murray. That's awesome. Move a minion to another base. It's also fun getting to move guys around as well. Game over, dude. Definitely from Aliens. Game over, man. Choose a base and a power of less than 5. Play an extra minion here of that power off the top of your deck there. Nice. Nice. Time to go. They're fleeing. Shuffle up to 3 cards from your discard pile into your deck. I love it. Nuke it from orbit. Playing a base. Talent. If this card was on a base at the start of your turn, destroy this base and all other cards on it. Replace it normally. Place this card in the box. Oh, that's fun. So basically it gets played. Everyone has to be like, okay, either we get our cards, we move them, or we break this by the end of the turn, or this card is gone. Nice, that's really fun. We have 5x5, which just means everything is good and fine. Draw 5 cards and place 5 cards from your hand on top of your deck in any order. Nice, stack your deck. With what you want, that way you make sure, hey, I drew a card that has a 3-cost card, I can get him out, I can chain some of these together, because I can now look for them, but they're going to be better if they come off the top of my deck as an extra card. That's cool. And then finally, we have Close Encounters, of the 3rd kind, who are stealing little aliens. Draw a card, you may place a card from your hand on top of your deck, play an extra action. Nice, and it can help you cycle stuff as well. That's a really fun deck. Alright, we have our bases. 21 Breakpoint. Ancient Crashed Ship. After you play a minion here from anywhere, except your hand, place a +1 power counter on it. Nice. I don't think moving counts as playing though. So let me just see if they play owner move. Lets you relocate a mini or buried card or titan from another base to another. Does not count as playing it. Right. Okay, so moving does not count as play. I figured it didn't, but never hurts to double check. And 22 breakpoint, we have the Brood Hive. Before the space scores, start the player to the current player's left. Each player with a mini here may play an extra mini off the top of their deck here. Cool. So basically everything spawns. You have to decide whether you want to play one and score some extra stuff, or if you're just going to kind of let it ride. Awesome. Alright, our last faction is the Wraith Rustlers. This is obviously a Ghostbuster reference, but what's also very interesting about this is a they had an old cartoon called The Ghostbusters, which came out before the Ghost. I remember if it came out before the Ghostbusters TVs. I think the movie came out, but it was before the animated cartoon came out. So this is why the animated Ghostbusters cartoon was called The Real Ghostbusters. Because and there was a giant ape in that. This is what I remember. I don't remember much about that show, but that's obviously what it's meant. It's referencing that as well. We have 4 copies of Watson, who plays for 2. I guess it's kind of a reference to Winston. You may destroy one of your actions on this base, or reveal a card from the top of your deck and to reveal a Wraith. Draw it and shuffle the rest into your deck. Interesting. So we're going to get to play some Wraiths. Or destroy one of your actions. That's interesting. We'll see how that works. 3 copies of Roy. Like Ray, probably. I don't know what the ape's name was in that show. Meaning you may transfer one of your actions from another base to here. Ongoing. If a Wraith has been destroyed here this turn, this minion has +2 power. Cool. Here, move Wraiths around. Our Wraiths actions then? I don't know. There's not a specific card called Wraith. So we're going to see how that works. 2 copies of Ellen. Egon would be I'm guessing the reference there. Also it's a female, so that's pretty fun. Could also be maybe referencing Ellen Ripley, Aliens. Kind of works that way as well. Talent. Destroy one of your actions on this base, reduces base's breakpoint by 3 until the end of the turn. That's 3 sets that have reducing breakpoints, which is really cool. Ongoing. After a Wraith is destroyed here, you may play an extra action. Cool. So they can move stuff around, and they get actions for having them Wraiths. Oh, I see how these are. Cool. Then lastly, we have Funkman, which is, of course, the last members, Ray, Egon. Why is my brain not thinking of the last Ghostbuster? I drew a complete blank. Alright, we'll keep moving. I'll remember it. Ongoing. After destroying action, give each of your minions on its base +1 power till the end of the turn. Or draw 1 card. Special. Before a base scores, you may transfer an action on it to another base. Cool, so you can move your actions around. And then if you get bonuses for destroying actions. So if you destroy an action, even so it doesn't even have to be one of yours. Yeah, why can't I think of his name? Winston, Egon, Ray, and it's Bill Murray's character. Alright. Anyhow, we're gonna move on. Alright, so we have action cards, which are wraiths. So there we go. Drop the card. Alright, so up first we have Slimy, which is of course a Slimer reference. So these are actions and wraiths. Playing a base, ongoing. This base breakpoint is reduced by 3. After this card is destroyed, each of your minion here gains +2 power till the end of turn. So this could work very well with other sets that let you destroy actions, as long as it doesn't specify an opponent's action. But that's going to be fun. We have 2 copies of Librarian Haunt, the ghost library, ghost reading the book of the first Ghostbusters movie. Playing a base, ongoing. This base's breakpoint is increased by 3. Interesting. Increasing breakpoints. After this card is destroyed, draw 3 cards. This is kind of a penalty for having them, but you're going to get a boost for doing it. 2 copies of the Demon Dogs. I love it. It's the Hell Dogs in Ghostbusters, but they're also eating the portrait of, is that Vigo? So is it, and then there's a V and a Z on their bowls. So there's one for Vigo and one for Zool. There is no Dana, there is only Zool. Playing a base, you may store a minion. Nice, because you use a store mechanic for a 3rd set. You may store a minion of 3 or less power from your hand or discard pile under this card. Ongoing, after this breakpoint is increased by 3, this card is destroyed, and you may play a minion stored under as an extra minion. Interesting, so you increase it by 3. Did that other guy increase? Did I misread that? I thought ongoing minion. No, it says destroy all your actions to reduce the breakpoint by 3. Okay. I thought we had one of their characters that did it. Awesome. So that's pretty cool. And then our other wraith is the ancient Sumerian god, who's dressed in aerobics clothes. This is funny because this is, I think, in Ghostbusters, Dana becomes, possessed, by Zool. And then I think it's a reference, like, she's wearing 80s workout clothes instead of, wearing, a nightgown type of thing. So that's pretty funny. Playing a base, talent. Storing action from your discard pile that can be played on a base under this card. Ongoing, this base's breakpoint is increased by 3. When this card leaves play, for each base, you may play one of the actions stored under this card as an extra action here. Cool. So that's just store them under there. And when it just gets removed for whatever reason, base breaks, scores or whatever, or you destroy it, you get to play a bunch of actions. That's really fun. Alright, up next we have the tools and the talent. Search your deck for a card and place it on top of your deck. Very cool. Just stack your deck. Doesn't help you get a card immediately, but it can definitely help you stack your deck. This actually works well with the Alien Bursters, the Alien cards too. The Extramorphs. We have Resurgence. So this is, they're all shooting out of the building, the Wraith Buster building. Choosing action on a base. Destroy it or transfer it to another base. Special, you may play this before a base scores. Cool. So you can destroy it and get a bonus, or you can move it in case it didn't work. You could use it somewhere else. Awesome. Unlicensed nuclear accelerators. Why is I can't remember the name of any of these things. They're backpacks, which are called what? Why am I not remembering any of these things? Play on a minion, ongoing. This minion has +2 power. Talent, destroy one of your actions on its base to place a +1 power on this minion. Nice. Cool. Then we have, they have the taxi cab. Or, that's not a taxi. That's it's like a charger of some sort. Instead of the ambulance. Ectoplasm 1. Because the car is called Ecto 1. That's awesome. Playing a base, talent, Venkman. That's his name. Oh, I knew my brain was going to remember it. So instead of Funkman, we have, instead of Venkman, we have Peter Venkman. We have Funkman. Alright. And I just gotta remember what the packs are called, which hopefully it comes to me before the end of this video. Place on a base, talent, transfer this action to another base to move one of your minions from here to there. If you move a minion, you may destroy an action on the new base. Cool. So they basically can hunt down your Wraith. I like the fact that the Wraiths are action, so it works very well with lots of other sets, rather than making it like a brand new thing. Proton packs. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Alright, our headquarters. This is very interesting with these bases. We'll look at this in a second. We have the Wraith Rustlers HQ. 20 breakpoint. The winner may play an extra action or extra minion on their next turn. And then we have 22, the Rooftop Portal. With some derpy looking statues there. Once per turn, after you destroy a card here, draw a card. Cool. So you get very powerful for that. So I did mention, I noticed with the bases here, which is very interesting. So we have 20, 20, 20, and a 20, and then we have 20, 22s, 21s. So everything somewhere between 20 and 22. So there's no like really cheap ones that are like 15 or 16. No really high ones are like 25. So it's very interesting. They're all kind of in the middle. And of course, they have their blue backs there. Alright, so that is what we have for Smash Up Expansion. Excellent movie, dudes. Some really fun mechanics with the stasis counters. The storing ability are really fun. Even the new one with the breaking the actions and stuff is a really neat thing to be utilized. Searching your deck with the extra morphs is really cool. I really hope they come back to these. I know that's one of my big issues with games like this is when they make new mechanics and then they abandon it after the first set. It took a while after power counters came out to get utilized again. They had the buried mechanic, which I think finally got used a second time. Even like the Titans. They made Titans for one set. They did make some packs for it. They finally came back to it again. I don't want these things to become like every set. Like power counters kind of make sense. But like some of the other ones, I don't want to see all these stasis tokens over and over. But I would love to see it in a second or third set eventually. Same thing as storing cards could be really helpful. Because then not only does it makes the mechanic cool because you're like, I don't really like this faction, but I like the ability. You can use it somewhere else. But it also could make like combining those two teams together could be interesting. Or one player could be playing stasis tokens against someone else who's playing stasis tokens, which adds a lot more mayhem because you could play stuff on other cards and stuff like that. You could even have another one that like your set, this one here, the back timers, lots of stuff, you're placing stasis on your stuff. You could have another faction that places stasis on other things. They're forcing things. I was kind of wondering if that's where Wraith Rustlers was going to go. Like, you're shooting them with your beams and you're putting them in stasis, but they went a different route, which is definitely cool. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed. Check out the other Smash Up videos. Come back, check out teams. We'll see how all this fits with the rest of this set as well. See you guys later. Bye.